So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world. And welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector. And tonight I'm joined by two members from the band Jovian Storms, which is a instrumental post rock metal
Post rock
band.
slash post metal. Yeah.
Yeah, both.
Right? Yes, I know. Sometimes it's
Somewhere
like
between
hard.
the two. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere between the two. And they're from Quebec in Canada. So, first of all, how are you tonight?
Good. Thanks for having us, Hector.
Yeah, we're very good and very happy to see you and talk with you about this new EP is coming. So, a
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
pleasure.
the,
very
the
excited
EP
about
is
it.
called Umbra, and it's coming
Umbra.
out November 1st. So,
Exactly.
yeah, so when you are seeing these cultures, the EP is out now. So, first of all, tell us, your name and what you do in the band.
So I'm Tom. I play the bass.
Yeah, and I'm Flo. I play the guitar and all the synths, and you can hear the backing track in the EP.
Awesome. So we're just missing the drummer.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not there tonight.
he's not here
Yeah.
tonight, but yeah,
He's too busy.
his name is
That's
Mark.
okay.
Yeah.
His name
Okay.
is Mark. Yeah.
I like the photos that you have on Facebook because you're like with some it's like some like raincoat or something that you would put if like a Chernobyl happened and you had the mask, which I thought is interesting. And I listened to your previous EP. I can't remember the name right off the bat, but it's the cover that it's more in space. So tell us a little bit about like the history of the band, how you guys got together and started the band.
So basically, it started in the early 2000s back in France because we're both from France. So we already played in the same band like back in like 20 years ago, and after that we kind of lost touch with each other. We kind of lost contact for many years, and a few years ago we found ourselves both living in Montreal, so we reconnected. We were like, let's just start another band, basically.
We say, why? We stopped playing music in France, and now we just want to let's make a band together again, once again. And
because now we're in North America, so it's a lot more exposure.
Yeah.
For this kind of music, so it's a good opportunity, I think.
Awesome. So you guys so you moved, was it coincidence that you found yourself moving to the same place? How or what, or was it planned?
No, it wasn't planned at all.
Wasn't planned at all.
I moved here like maybe over 10 years ago, and Flo like 5 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
So it was a total coincidence. It wasn't planned at all.
Yeah, I wasn't planning to move in Montreal. First of all, I was planning to move in another city like Toronto or Vancouver, and for I don't know the reason, but I came here to Montreal. So,
well, first of all, they speak French there.
Yes.
That would be a plus. Plus, I went to that city, Quebec, and it's a city that feels very European in a way.
Like, yeah, the old town feels very.
It has like a European.
It's got this old style of buildings, very like.
So you guys got back, went there and reconnected and decided to form a band. Before, when you were in France, did you have like the same type of like band, or did you play like in different styles?
No, it was a completely different style. So it was the early 2000s. So it was the new metal craze. So we were playing new metal.
Okay, so it was like just one of those days for you.
Yeah, just one of those days.
Like
I went to France in 2005, and I remember that I bought some French metal bands, and I think there was one called Enhancer, and it was like they were like doing rap in French. I didn't know what they were saying, but they sounded like a Limp Bizkit in French.
It was basically in the same vein. Yeah. That Enhancer.
Yeah, so I remember I'm like, oh, this is interesting. I bought a few back back in those days in 2005, there was still no streaming. So you
Yeah.
had to buy every
You
time.
had to
If
buy
I went
CDs.
to a country, I remember I went to a store and I'm like, I want to buy music. And sometimes the people said like, oh, buy something that I already knew. I'm like, no, I want to buy something that I can get where I'm from. Like,
Mm.
but that's not an issue there. So I bought a Hanser. I bought a band that was called Playmo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, and I remember they were pretty. Playmo was more like an alternative type of sound.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty cool. I remember buying some stuff. It would have been funny if you had told me, "Oh, we were in Enhancer."
No, we
No,
weren't that big.
no,
Oh, it's okay.
yeah, just more
Uh,
local bands.
We were like a small
Yeah,
local band.
yeah,
We used to play in bars basically. So
yeah,
we maybe
yeah.
did like a back in the day. We maybe did like a one big show, but that's pretty much it.
yeah.
Okay.
We
So
I remember we released one album, I think, with the old band in
Yeah.
France.
Yeah, well, that was
Was
it was rough.
yeah,
Let's say.
did you had a singer, right? I imagine because I
yeah,
can't imagine like a new metal band without singing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah. It was we were young and
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
we
no
were
shame
just
in
having
that.
fun.
I still like some new metal, and actually, new metal is making a comeback.
yeah.
It
There's
is.
a
It is
lot of
because
like
all of us
Mm.
are turning like
Mm.
like 30, 40 and getting
we don't have to
nostalgic
age
about the
ourselves,
good old
man.
days.
Yeah. So Jovian Storms, obviously it's more uh like there's no singing, but it's the theme of it. It seems like when I'm listening to it, like I'm in outer space. So obviously I googled the name Jovian Storms, and I didn't know this, so it's science for you that this is a storm that is like a cyclone that is in Jupiter, a red spot, where it's a 270-mile winds. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow.
And it's
Mm.
perpetual. It never stops.
Yeah.
Yes, it never stops.
Been going on for like thousands and thousands
Yeah.
of years, and it
Yeah.
never stops.
That's like the worst hurricane ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why did you pick that band name? It's cool. It's a cool, and you have to Google it, and then you find out science.
Yeah. But that's pretty much.
Mm.
I came up with the name because I'm a huge space nerd. So I was
Mm.
reading. We were looking for a band name with flow like a few years ago,
Yeah.
and we couldn't decide on something. And I was reading an article, and they were talking about Jovian storms, the storms on Jupiter. I was like, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. And we basically based our first EP around Jupiter after that.
Yeah, I saw the cover for that. It's a pretty cool album cover. So doing instrumental music, like you have to express yourself through your music. Like when you what do where listeners are getting into your band, what do you expect them to take away from listening to Jovian Storms?
Mainly, we would like the people get deep, very deep
Yeah.
inside
We want
into
people to
music.
get really
Yeah.
immersed into our music,
Mm.
and like disconnect for the time they're really listening to our songs. It would be a very good compliment for us if that ever happens. But
like a sci-fi movie, when you like, for example, we are a huge fan from the movie Blade Runner or
Oh,
kind of movie. So for me, when I look in this movie, I'm completely deep inside the movie.
yeah.
So we would like to the people feel the same when they listen to our music. So
yeah, and it sounds very, instrumental music. So it can sound very cinematic, like a movie score. So is that like something that when you're composing, you're like taking away that way? Like this could be like the score to a sci-fi movie that hasn't come out.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Mostly like I said before, I'm a huge fan from sci-fi movies, but I like also all the kind of stuff like ambient styles, a lot of synths, a lot of effects on the guitars, reverb, delay, everything, and all the kind of sound make you go deeper inside the music and all the instruments also. The bass must be very loud and groovy also, and the drum loud also, but sometimes some
the drums to act like basically like a like a foundation and just
and this new EP, are you self-releasing this or are you releasing this through a label?
Yeah, we don't have a label.
No,
this is self-released.
It's completely self-produced.
Yes,
self-released. We do everything ourselves basically.
So it's DIY. You record it, you produced it. Tell me about the process of the recording of this new EP that's coming out.
So basically, we've worked with a sound engineer called Ariel Coulomb. So we recorded like on a period of 3 days, like 1 day for each instrument, bass, drum, guitar. And it was pretty straightforward because whenever we come into the studio, we were very prepared. We work a lot. We rehearse a lot. So it was a very smooth process. And Ariel did an amazing job recording and mixing, and we were super happy with it. And the mastering was done by Magnus Lindberg from Cult of Luna, and he did like a super job as well. But everything was, like it was out of pocket for us. We don't have a label supporting us or anything.
It's like me. I pay for my own shit.
Yeah.
It's all me. It's one-man production. But you know what? It really sounds really good. And I'm glad I got to listen to it. And I love the name, love the sci-fi aesthetic, because as you, I'm same as you. I love sci-fi. I don't know why. I like reading sci-fi books. I like watching sci-fi movies. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, but there's a few like interesting sci-fi books that I've read. And well, this year I got to see the new Alien movie, which is cool.
Yes. I'm a big fan of Alien.
Yeah, no, it's a cool movie. So let me show the artwork for the new EP, and we can discuss it. So here we have Umbra. What does Umbra mean?
So the Umbra is an astronomic term that means it describes the darkest part of a shadow. Like for example, during the solar eclipse. The Umbra is like the darkest part of the shadow cast by the moon on the Earth. So that's basically the theme of the album. It's the solar eclipse, because we had an eclipse in Montreal. No, in April.
It was in April. Actually, there's a band that I interviewed on the channel that they recorded a song outside while the eclipse was happening. So it's pretty cool. It's like you can. I think it's a pretty cool performance. So I remember. I think in Puerto Rico you couldn't see it. It wasn't visible. I knew it happened, but it didn't get dark here. So tell me a little about who did the artwork, and obviously, is that supposed to be like the moon reflecting? Tell me a little bit about the artwork.
So I did the artwork. I do all the visuals for the band. So at first, like the cover was much more literal. It was just like a picture of a total eclipse. And the more I was looking at it, I was like, it's just kind of lame. Like it looks generic, and it's been done before. So I was like browsing my books, because I've got a lot of art books on art history, and I was looking at a page on a movement called Futurism. I was in Italy back in the early 19th century, which is kind of like, it is kind of similar to Cubism. And that would be like a cool, avenue to explore. And then I basically work, like my workflow is that I use AI generated images, but then I make a composite with that. Like it's the foundation for the artwork, But then I come and I just like adjust all the elements together to make something more, interesting usually.
Okay, yeah, no, it looks pretty cool, and yeah, it has a cool name. So this EP, it has 5 tracks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I listened to the tracks, and it's interesting because the first one's The Darkness Reveals.
Yeah.
Then you have Voronoi, I think the Vagrant Signal,
Yeah.
Sterendu, and neither created nor
Yeah.
destroyed. So those are the 5 tracks. So yeah, it's every track flows into the other. Was that a conscious thing, like to have like it almost feels like it's one song divided in 5 parts?
That's that's interesting because
Yeah.
the way we worked on those songs was very I think natural. Like Flo comes up with all the backing tracks. Like he comes with like the draft of each song, the synth, and like he creates a draft of the drums, and then Mark, our drummer, comes, records his parts, so there's some adjustments that are made there, and then I come and I record the bass.
Yeah.
But we worked on those songs like in a very kind of short period of time.
Yeah.
So yes, so it doesn't surprise me that really sounds like a coherent piece, and everything flows into everything else.
Yeah. How fast was the recording process for this? Like how?
So we started working on the tracks back in January, February this year.
Yeah, honestly, I starting to work on these new tracks during the COVID-19.
Okay.
When the COVID hit everyone, I just feeling like, okay, I stay in my home, what I'm doing. So now I say, okay, get back to work. The first EP is done, so now I need to work on new tracks, and I want to bring something more interesting, maybe more techniques in the way I compose all the songs, and I bring more ambient stuff like sci-fi. I look a lot of sci-fi movies, so I love all the synths, I love all the ambience, and I just want to bring that more in this new EP. It's still heavy, but more aerial, more ambient.
Atmospheric.
No. It has atmospheric. While I listened to the previous EP, it was atmospheric, but it felt more like spacey, like space rock. I don't know. There's a band. You probably know that band, Failure, where they had like they said like they sounded like space rock and things like that. So yeah, the music, is pretty. It has interesting things. Have you ever thought of like getting a vocalist and doing like songs with lyrics, or you're like, no, let's just focus on what we do?
I think we work very well as a instrumental band. Like we're only three people, and like, as they say, like 3 is the most stable number.
Yeah, and you get a fourth one and it's problem.
Yeah, we have a great chemistry together. We work really well, and we work really fast. And I think we don't see ourselves adding vocals. Maybe doing like a guest track with someone from another band, but not something permanent.
Okay,
I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, have you guys have been playing shows in your surrounding areas, or are you gonna play some shows soon after this release so people can catch you live?
Yeah, we play in Montreal mostly, and some bars, some
venues.
Yeah, some venues also.
Venues,
yeah.
Piano Bar, Turbo House,
Colossal. Yes. Our next show will be November 15 in Montreal. And we we're gonna have a surprises for this show.
Oh,
Because
Secret, no?
as you were saying before, like as we don't have vocals, we have to like express all those emotions through the music. And especially during the live performances, we're very like, we try to be as present on stage and energetic as possible. And for this next show, we're going to debut live projections. So we're working on videos that going to go along with the music. So people get even more immersed in our universe.
That's cool. I would go to Montreal and maybe I would get on stage and do some interpreted dancing.
Yeah.
Sure.
You can do
Do you remember back in the day when all the ska bands had the dude who just
pick it up.
Yeah, I'm like, are you seriously paying this guy to move on stage? That's the only thing they did. But yeah, no, I'm guessing, with music for me, like, because there's a band here in Puerto Rico that is called Space Corolla, and they're like an instrumental band too. And the singer, they put like stuff in the back so it enhances like the instrumental music. And I think with instrumental music, since there's no lyrics, I think like the visuals with the music, it makes it more like trippy. Like, and people can get in that, like you could be playing and there could be like a moon and stuff happening and it makes it interesting. So yeah, don't give it away. So people in November 15th, where is this show going to be in November 15th?
So it's a place called Cégep du Vieux-Montréal. It's basically like kind of like a high school, but not exactly. So there's a student association there. It's like a college basically. So there's a student association there called the MCVM, and they organize metal show basically for very cheap and.
Nice.
They're doing a really great job.
It's a nice venue,
Yeah, sounds like a good time. So your EPs, I'm guessing everything is digital. Where can people, buy and support, to support the band, where they can follow you and stuff?
We have a Bandcamp. It's Jovian Storms.bandcamp.com, where you can support us if you want. It's always appreciated because we, like I was saying, we don't have any financial support from a label. So if you wanna support us, go ahead.
Awesome, man. And I'll post the link for that Bandcamp. Do you have besides the EPs, do you have some t-shirts or some merch in the way?
So we're looking into it. We have some shirts that we sell during shows. But we were looking into selling merch online, but in Canada, the shipping fees are extremely expensive. Like it costs almost as much for the shipping fees that the t-shirt. So financially, it's not viable. We're looking into it, and we'd like to try to find a solution because we have more new merch coming for this new EP. But that's going to be something for next year, I think.
Yeah. That sounds like a plan. So it's been great chatting with you tonight about the music. Thank you for sending me so I could listen to it. I know we've been communicating for a few weeks. Before I let you guys go, anything you like to say to the people before we go?
Yeah, we just hope the people will like the EP. As much as we take pleasure to record it. It was a very, very amazing experience. And
we're very proud of our work. We really worked hard on this new EP, and we're very proud of the final results. And I hope people will enjoy it. And come see us live.
Yeah,
sure.
So
live, it's
So if I go back to Montreal and Quebec, I'll hope to catch I like catching music also when I travel. It's always cool to see like the different scenes in different places. And I know Canada has a lot of bands, different styles. So yeah, thank you for joining me all the way from Montreal to here in Puerto Rico. So Couchers, I would recommend Jovian Storms if you like, this sort of music that we've been discussing, instrumental music with, like sci-fi themes and such. You would enjoy it. I'll post the link for anyone who want to check the band, and follow them also on YouTube if you wanna follow the band and get notifications where they release stuff. So until next time, couchers, this is Hector, the shield dude on a couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank
Thank
you
you so much for
Thank
having us.
you.
and goodbye.